Hey guys, good morning. I'm back. I got some stuff to show. But before I do, it's stuff that happens in battle, so I'm going to adjust the speed of battle first. When it comes to battle timings, I've got some of my most important variables at the top here. The core one is this battle speed delay, which means this is the speed of which the battle updates, and each battle update does a few things. The most visual way to see when the battle is updated is when each of the player's action time bars ticks up. The higher this value is, the slower that will happen. If I were to just sec, it's just a literal for 1. So if I was to get rid of the divider here and it was just sec, then each of the action time bars would tick up very slowly because they'd only tick up once per second. And then I've got this stall here, which currently whenever a command is executed, it stalls everything. It stalls the battle speed updater for this duration, so it's most of a second here, 3/4 of a second, and you can see that when a lot of commands are happening at once, all the ATB bars, they stall. And then finally we've got this ailment delay here, which is at 6, and this multiplies against the battle speed here to determine how often ailments update. And ailment updates aren't responsible for much just yet, but as I develop the ailment system, they will be. It will be in charge of how long an ailment lasts. Some other stuff, like if a player is poisoned, then they're periodically going to take damage from the poison. And I think currently for poison, that happens every time this is updated, and you'll see that in the demonstration I'm about to do. But yeah, so it requires 6 battle ticks to trigger the ailment tick. And I could say if I made this 1, then every single battle tick, we'd be triggering the ailment updating as well, so ailments would wear very fast and the poison would tick very quickly. So this is how I've had it for like the last few episodes whenever I've showed battle. So I'm going to drop this to every half second, so it should go much slower. I'm going to make this tick once every second. What I'm also going to do, I'm going to go to the tick ailment scripts. So this is the one that's run when enough battle ticks have gone past for the ailment update. So it does like a recalculation to check what ailments each guy actually has. But in terms of affecting the battle, the only one that does currently is if we have a poison, we apply 1 damage of element dark. I'm going to change this to 0, and that should do no damage, but it should come up with the number. I want the number because that's our only way of checking the ailments are ticking properly. Alright, open this up. I'm going to just load up a file. Getting to battles very fast. So for debugging reasons I did that. You can see that these are ticking up very slowly now, and it's happening once every second. You'll very quickly see that enemies are attacking and they're applying status effects here. You can see I've got some icons here. I've got some coloration going, and I've got those green popping bubbles. They're kind of like a sick poisony effect. The enemy moves are the same as what the players have here, except for attack. They're poison, damage up, defense up. They all do the same, they all look the same. It's all that purple cloud. Probably should have separated them to make them clearer, but they're applying one of 3 ailments, which are poison, damage up, and defense up. And you can see Chad's actually been hit by all of them here. He's been hit by the poison, which is this icon, damage up, this sword, and defense up, which is this shield. There's also these strikes, which denotes how many stacks of that ailment they're affected by. Chad's actually got 2 stacks of the defense up, so you'd expect that to be a more powerful effect on him. They stack from 3 to -3 of this defense buff, but both damage up and defense up, what the enemies are applying, the positive side of the effects, they give 1 stack of the buff. So if we're lucky, Chad will get hit by it again and he'll be at 3 stacks, and that will be the maximum stacks for now. And then technically another enemy could use an effect that negates that stack, so we'd lose the extra slashes, or we might even go negative. A negative effect is denoted currently by like a red strike here, so poison is a negative one, and there's 1 stack of poison. For the base rules of the game though, poison won't be an effect that stacks. I won't be drawing that strike at all, unless for whatever reason there's an effect that allows you to stack the ailment, but poison's one of those, like, it's applied or it's not applied, whereas these damage up and defense up, they've got different levels they can apply at. But yeah, I'll poison the enemy because it's much clearer here. Last time we talked about ailments, I showed off poison and berserk, and I had them do like, they're a part of this rotating color carousel thing that's going. I've opted for a strong effect like poison. I think it's better to keep it constant. It makes the enemy kind of look sick, and that visual is aided by the little animation of the sick little green bubble that's going up. There's actually a bit of a mistake in the last frame of the... let's check that out. Here you go, in the last... oh no, that's the little icon. I want the actual ailments poison. So it's this little animation that plays. There's actually an extra grey one, yeah, right there. Yoink! Get rid of that. So the next time we run, they'll be fixed. But yeah, I had a thought about how I want to communicate ailments in battle, because it is going to be a big deal in how you conduct battles, and I want that information to be very clear what's going on. So I've employed a combination of effects. For the colors that rotate, so if they've got both this defense and this attack buff, it'll rotate between this blue, which is the defense, and the red, which is the attack, and you can see it's flicking through them. The more of these effects that qualify to be colored on the player, the faster through the effects they will flick. But yeah, that's what I've got right now. There's no way to see what ailments enemies have besides these visuals, and I do want them to be paired with icons like this so that it's clear what's going on, because if you stack a lot of effects together, you'd have to do lots of waiting to, you know, see if they've got the right color, and it could be quite annoying. And if the effect's about to expire, maybe I could have the effects blink or something. But I also have to be conscious of space. You can see these icons are very low resolution. I've got like a single line denoting whether they're a positive or a negative effect, and then I've got the strikes for like how many stacks are on, so I kind of got to be a bit careful. You know, I couldn't have many more icons here before they reach where the players are. Maybe if I make them a bit smaller, I don't know, I'd do something, you know, I could have maybe 2 stacks of them, but yeah, I have to see how common of a case it is to like overflow the amount of space I have. And I haven't thought too hard about how the enemies will show their icons, because there is this stuff down here. I could, you know, if I just have one row for the enemy families, I could have like the statuses affecting them down here. But I'm thinking maybe it's feasible to have them drawn on top at the bottom of the enemy maybe, but that might get a bit too cluttered if there's too much going on. Maybe I'll look at the size of the icons, but yeah, I want all that information to be very clear, but I also want like these visual effects, because yeah, if it was only icons representing them, then I think it would feel much less good. I think there's a lot of impact to see this guy being all poisoned. I could like give him a buff as well, give him the damage up. I think that stuff looks cool. You want the guy to be threateningly red if he's buffed his damage, you know. You can see I also fixed the problem I was having with the text, and the cutoff was happening because of rounding issues when drawing the text. So I floored its position and we're all good now, so that was thankfully easy. Also, none of the ailments wear off after battle. Even the effects are still drawing outside. For the damage and defense buffs, I'd want them to wear off. Those are like temporary battle buffs. Poison though would be fine to persist. But yeah, you can see as I come back into combat, it's all preserved, all the stacks and the effects that each of the guys had. But yeah, I still haven't thought about what exactly will preserve after battle, but I know that these temporary buffs I'd want to wear off. I'll can it there. I'm going to keep working on this stuff, and I don't know, we'll see what we get done for next time. Peace.